morning and blessings. I'm Pastor Vaughn, and here's the news for Sunday, November 1st. No, we did not start an hour late today. Daylight saving time ended at 2 a.m. this morning, so what would have been 11 a.m. yesterday is 10 a.m. today.
Wow!
I know that time math is confusing. You gotta drop the 2 and carry the 1, but trust me, it works. Buddy Barrel is here today, collecting your lost change to save lost souls around the world with the love of Jesus. Today's worship songs include Waymaker, Amazing Grace,
My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior, has ransomed me.
and Be Still.
Be still and trust what the Lord has said is done.
We will also celebrate communion after today's sermon. Our church events correspondent, who bears a striking resemblance to me, has filed this report about an upcoming event.
It's breaking!
The Harvest Calendar Guy has received a formal reprimand for leaving this item out of last week's calendar update. Abby Sawzak, who heads up Chi Alpha Madison, as well as New Culture Church in downtown Madison, will be here at Harvest Church November 15th. She will speak about what is happening with Chi Alpha Madison, our U.S. missionary outreach to college students. The 90 Days of Transition Prayer campaign continues this month. John Davis, Superintendent for the Wisconsin and Northern Michigan District of the Assemblies of God, reminds us that we are asking God to prepare us for the future, both after the election and eventually after the pandemic. John Davis said that certainly we are change agents where God has planted us, but beyond that, we are a part of God's kingdom, which is victorious and will remain victorious no matter what happens in the days ahead. As part of this prayer campaign, Harvest Church will hold a prayer meeting right here on Friday, November 20th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Please consider joining us as we pray for God's guidance for Harvest Church to be salt and light for the community and the people in the DeForest area. Doug Clay, General Superintendent for the Assemblies of God, has a word for us about this week.
This week, America will select a President of the United States for the 59th time. This is our privilege and responsibility as citizens. Now, we may or may not know the outcome on Tuesday evening. We can assume that regardless of who wins, there will be angst, unrest, contesting, and even some demonstrations. All of our Assemblies of God churches and ministers should know that whatever the outcome of the election, the mission of our church remains: evangelism, worship, discipleship, compassion. You see, when our president takes office, he and this country needs a healthy church. A divided nation is discouraging, but a divided church is devastating. So I'm calling on all Assemblies of God churches and ministers to engage in intercession for our country.
Doug Clay wants us to pray for the following: God's peace, safety, unity, justice, and spiritual revival. You can see the full video on the Harvest Church Facebook page. And that's all for this week's edition of Harvest News. This is Pastor Vaughn reminding you to be loved, love God, love others, and follow Jesus. Let's get ready to worship.
Thank you.